Welcome to the Best Express podcast. I'm John, your host, with my good buddy Chad.
Hey, Lou.
How's it going, Chad?
It's all good.
So, today's topic today is tabletop role-playing, which I myself am a big fan of, but I have never played it myself. Chad, you seem to have partaken in this rolling of dice.
Well, I started off with AD&D, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, version 2. Played up to about 3.5. My buddies hated 4, so therefore we kind of stuck with 3.5, and instead of going with 3.5, we decided to actually move on to Pathfinder.
Pathfinder? Did you get a chance to play the new one, 5?
Nope.
Alright. So, how is Pathfinder?
Like I said, it's just a more advanced version of 3.5. Everybody seems to love it, and it's just a little more elaborate.
So Pathfinder it's more of a system, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I do listen to a lot of role playing sessions on YouTube regarding Pathfinder, and from what I understand, you can base it essentially anywhere.
Yes.
And then it's just the way it is. Have you played online?
No.
Okay. All right. So how's your campaign going?
Well, right now we're in the middle of a gigantic shitstorm.
What happened? Start from the beginning.
Well, okay. So we went around the country, doing things. We'll keep it at that. Adventuring. And we'll just say one of the nobles decided to make a pact with one of the baddies. And instead of having an impending, orc invasion coming from the north, which, we've been fending them off for thousands of years, he decided to actually make a really, really bad pact and have them, open up a portal right in the middle of the country and have them come through that.
Now, what is the motivation behind the GM creating such a thing?
To fuck with us.
So, your GM, is he, how is he? Is he good?
He's very good. Yeah.
And so, how often do you guys play?
Whenever he gets a day off.
It's always the case.
He's working for BC Ferries after all, so it's
really?
I believe it's 4 on 3 off, or no, sorry, was it 5 on? No, 4 on, something like that. Mm-hmm. 4 on 3 off. He works 10, almost 12-hour shifts. For the ferries.
Oh, interesting. So, what character do you play?
I play a rogue /fighter.
/fighter?
Yeah.
Dual class.
Yeah.
So you can wear mail plate.
I could. However, that would impede my, rogue abilities, like move silently.
Mm-hmm.
Try moving silently in, chainmail.
And what is his backstory?
Well, this is actually a carryover from a previous campaign, which we ended and we just stopped playing because I guess everybody got older and busier. He is the grandson of my original character.
Name?
What was my last character's name? I just dubbed him Jack.
Jack of all trades.
Jack. Yeah, Jack of all trades. Yeah. Jack had a propensity for whoring and, creating he was trying to create an underworld empire.
What is its charisma?
It wasn't that high. I think it was 12 at the time.
How can you whore around with a low charisma count?
Actually, 12 would be considered a little above average. Average would be about, I guess, charisma 9 or charisma 10.
What's the max charisma, though?
Max would be whatever you roll at 18, I think.
18?
Yeah, because when you roll dice for your stats, it's usually about 3d6, or depending on how the DM or GM does it, some of them will do 4d6, and then you remove the lowest dice.
But what's generally the dump stat for it?
The dump stat?
Yeah, it's you have a bunch of extra points. Usually people put them in charisma.
No, you don't usually do dump stats.
Okay.
Yeah. you basically just roll 3d6 or 4d6, drop the lowest one, and basically you figure out where you're going to put these stats.
Okay, so it's not like you have like what it is now, where you have X amount of points and you just put it anywhere.
Oh, you could use that.
Okay,
right.
So,
but if you really want to, take your chances and roll a really fantastic character, the chances of you rolling, multiple 18s is very low, but it has happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is not like the original AD&D where you pretty much what you roll is what you get.
Yep, it is.
It is. So It's like, okay, strength 2, intelligence 2.
Well, you can't really get 2. The least you're going to get is 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. 3 is your most likely your minimum stat, unless you break a dice.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, you know what? Anybody, if you can barely lift a rock, a pebble, if you're at 2, jokingly at 2. But going back to the backstory, my original character from our original D&D game likes to whore out and shit. Mm-hmm. So he decided that he wanted to create an underworld empire. He did, and then one day he just disappeared. Disappeared along with the royalty at the same time. Like we're talking about the royalty at the time.
Okay,
right?
And somehow your current character came about.
My character came about. I think this is like about 200 to 300 years later. So basically, my character still has made appearances here and there, and he's still whored around. So my character is about his grandson at this point, and he's discovering a few things here and there. Now, my original character hasn't achieved godhood. He just happened to accidentally become a different being as a result.
The magical ambrosia?
No. What happened was there was a slight accident in regards to using this portal my GM created.
Mm-hmm.
The portal has side effects. You use it too much.
Grow an extra tail?
No, you get sick. You're internally fucked up.
Okay.
So one day one person tried to fix me, and something, she kind of screwed up somewhere. And as a result, the side effect is because I end up becoming a, part light being as a result. And every once in a while, I would, if I choose to, I would just, glow green or decide to actually transform into a green light being and, hack and slash as a result, my character had options of actually picking a side in what type of light being I was. If I went good, straight up good, I'd be blue. If I went straight up evil, I'd be red. If I want to be neutral, I'd be green. Well,
so obviously you went for red, right?
No. My character stayed green. It's like, nah, that side didn't look cool. Nah, that side just seems boring. I think I'll stay the way I
am. And then later on, but how did your Pathfinder character came about then?
Well, like I said, my Pathfinder character is the grandson. So basically, he knew that stuff like this was bound to happen. At some point, he would end up being like Grandpa, except just not quite as powerful. Mm-hmm. So one day, we got into a battle, and I rolled very, very badly, and I was very, very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a boulder right on top of me as a result. And the GM's like, well, what do you want to do? You going to die yet? And we go, oh God, I knew this was going to happen. I'll turn green. He goes, yeah, I was waiting for that to happen. So, yeah, this nice little voice inside you say, yeah, it's about freaking time. And you glow green. In fact, you kind of look like, sort of like what your original grandpa looked like, except not quite as powerful.
So the main question I have is like, is most of the stuff made up, or is it like in reference to what the lore of the game is?
It's made up, actually. A lot of the stuff my GM does is he actually takes bits and pieces from, stuff he's read up on, he's seen, he's played, and whatnot. He's an anime fan as well, so he he takes bits and pieces of from that too. In fact, my mount is a chocobo.
Is it exactly a chocobo, or is it just
he calls it a chocobo.
So it's a yellow chicken.
Yeah, a big, gigantic yellow chicken that runs around pecking shit. So in fact, I've actually partnered up with another NPC, and we started a chocobo farm. Breeding chocobos for a messenger service / war chocobos.
Okay.
So we I currently ride currently I currently am in possession of 2 alpha chocobos. Right. One I named Ares, and the other one I named Mars.
Ares and Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hence they're alpha male war chocobos.
I probably would have went with was it Remus and
Romulus?
Romulus, yeah.
For another time. But let's face it, this is for shits and giggles, right? So Ares is with our tank, who is by all definitions Groot.
You have a plant monster.
No, we just call him Groot, just for the sake of he's big, he's brawny.
Only knows one word.
We jokingly say he's Groot.
Okay, and the rest of your
and
party?
Then I have the other war chocobo. So the rest of the party is there's a swashbuckler who's from of nobility. We have a half elf bard. We have a half elf healer who at times will go nuts. In fact, one time she lost her, I think she rolled low on her wisdom check, and she ended up giving our swashbuckler rainbow hair. And he was like, I'll take it. Because, it's flamboyant. Our swashbuckler is flamboyant because he is of nobility. And on top of that, it basically, because he is a duelist, right? He is pretty, he's a lethal duelist. He does very well in duels.
But the question is, does he have a big giant hat?
No.
Does he have?
He has big flamboyant rainbow hair.
Okay. But okay, alrighty.
What else here? Oh yes, he turned our tank somewhat draconic.
Draconic? Okay.
In stature, like. He's kind of like purplish.
Purplish?
No. He has some dragon traits. In fact, there's a little flap where the dongi gum comes out. And he likes to eat jewels.
Not draconic, from what I understand.
Some dragons eat jewels.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She's kind of avoided me. Oh, I've avoided her to a certain degree. I've tried not to get hurt, hence, I'm like, I don't want that happening to me.
Yeah,
no.
The roll of the dice is the roll of the dice.
The roll of the dice is the roll of the dice, yes.
But mostly, their characters are female, but your makeup of the people who play are all...
It's majoritively male.
So there are some females?
Our healer's female.
She actually... No, a girl plays that.
Yes.
A girl plays a healer. The ongoing joke is that if you play World of Warcraft and you're a female, you play a priest.
Yeah. There's a good reason why that happens. It's because, hun, so you want to get interested in what I play. Okay, so I've set you up to be a female priest.
Blood elf female priest?
It's like, yeah, the reason why I actually got her to play World of Warcraft with me because I need a healer. I'm like, really?
Yes. I think I mentioned it before. For whatever reason, every single female player I know has a female priest that is heavily slutted up.
Well, especially if you're Horde.
Yes.
Play Blood Elf.
Just because.
Just because.
Slut mobbing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, how long you've played for Pathfinder for how long?
I think our sessions lasted almost a year.
A year?
Yeah.
About 4 hours.
Yeah. We basically we meet up at a friend's place. We order in dinner.
Mm-hmm.
We take about an hour for dinner, and then basically we start playing until we
Midnight?
decide to fall asleep or want to leave. So it's usually anywhere between about 4 hours.
Okay.
Give or take.
Sounds fun. Okay, so basically, the story of it so far is like your band of heroes was hired to...
Heroes is a very loose term.
Your band of protagonists is hired to...
No, we just go around and do a little bit of entering. At first, we were actually just doing jobs, and then we realized, oh, wait a minute, there's a story to this coming up, isn't there, Mr. GM?
Well, that's kind of the reason why I like role-playing. It's pretty much you make a story. I personally think, especially with Dragonlance, originally started out with a bunch of people playing AD&D, and then a story developed out of it, and they made the novels.
Yep.
Then later on, a bunch of writers come in just to write a bunch of BS. But originally, I think the 5 original books were basically off the campaign of the 5 players.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious about how your story about, because you have a year. There's got to be a story to it.
Well, like I said, this is kind of based off of a previous campaign, anyways. This is just a couple 100 years later into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the original story is that we were all part of the original D&D session was basically we were a bunch of guys that went around, and we ended up trying to stop an invasion, try to help one of the nobility, and then basically eventually one of our characters decided to actually marry into the nobility, thus creating his own little kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
My character, on the other hand, was trying to make a nice, comfortable underworld kingdom.
I must finish off what my grandfather started.
Well, because of that, that ended, because we stopped playing, that session ended as well, and then hence the storyline kind of cut off there.
Okay.
Right. So basically, what my GM basically said was, "Oh, well, you're, because you guys, literally disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Tim, his character, his character disappeared. Your character, he didn't quite disappear, but he's kind of roaming I wouldn't say he's roaming the countryside. We'll just say he, appears here and there whenever he wants to.
No, but I'm asking about the Pathfinder story.
But the Pathfinder story is based off of off the previous one. So getting into that, because of the major nobility at the time disappearing, and one of the other nobilities disappearing at the time, other nobilities kind of took over, right? Hence, my characters, one of my friend's characters is nobility. He's son of a duke, and the other houses kind of took over. One of the houses that kind of went missing or went rogue or got banished. One of the descendants from that is coming. Well, he's decided to actually rear his ugly head and decide to actually cause some trouble. And as a result, he may be responsible for his involvement in bringing in the orc army and invading the country.
Okay, can you be more specific?
As in,
what did he do?
Like, well, no, he is from one of the banished houses.
It's like,
so he's saying, well, look, my family got exiled because we just didn't, you guys decided to actually try to take power, so therefore I'm coming back to wreak a little havoc and maybe take back what's rightfully mine. By joining with the orcs.
So essentially, he's trying to be, was it Hellscream?
Kind of. Yeah.
And how is he controlling the orcs, or is it just alliance?
I don't know. We don't know the exact details, but we do know that there is some involved. He is involved.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you're adventuring your grandson of the original thief warrior.
Yeah.
And the campaign essentially evolves around the invading army.
Yep.
Okay. And wow. So the question I have right now is your GM comes up with a plot and so forth. Because I know for some people who come in, they would try to meta the game by saying, okay, I have this book. Can I get this weapon? Can I do this? Or is just, I am here out of nowhere. I am Sir Lancelot of Fargate.
Kind of, sort of. Like, there are a couple of things which he, in terms of, say, weapons or devices that he'll take from other things that he's watched, read, experienced. I happen to have a caster gun.
Okay.
If you've seen Outlaw Star, that little caster gun that Gene Starwin has, right? I have a variation of that, right?
So essentially, you can pull stuff out of your ass.
I had this little caster gun where basically he's like, oh yeah, you happen to find this little gun here. Oh, what is it? Oh yeah, it's a caster gun. I'm like, that sounds. Oh yeah, my original character had one of those a long time ago. Yeah. Now I have to have one. And essentially, I had to find somebody who makes shells for me because these are not easy to make. So. We also happen to have a spellcaster in the party who is who works for a university, right? Who will when he'll join in the party to actually fight with us every once in a while whenever he's able to make it in. Well, he gets his students to actually make these shells for me, and if they die, oh well. In the process, because typically in a wizard university, there's bound to be casualties.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just happened to actually get shells through him.
Okay.
Because hey, my students, yeah, you want extra credit? Yeah, make these.
It's like, oh, you died. I need another Timmy.
Yeah, that's what we call them. They're all Timmys until they do something impressive.
Okay. Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah. So right now I have a nice little case of shells.
Do you guys ever record your sessions or just?
No, it's the problem with our sessions is that it goes off on tangents
a lot.
Well, we joke a lot. We take we bring up stories from the past or from another session. So every once in a while we'll bring up a previous from our previous campaign. One of my buddies, the guy who played a swashbuckler, he played a priest character one time. He didn't realize the physics of a silo or a grain silo when he casted a flame strike at it. And ever since then, it's been the biggest. It's the story. You blow up the grain silo, boom. People see it for miles.
Okay.
I didn't know that this would happen. I don't live anywhere near a farm before, so I didn't even know.
So
it's just like the gazebo story.
Okay.
You've heard the gazebo story, right? Okay. There was at a convention, they were playing D&D,
Yep.
and the GM there basically said, "Oh yeah, you come across a gazebo." One of the players goes, "I shoot it with an arrow." Okay, and
roll your initiative.
okay, sure, you shoot your roll to hit. Okay, so does nothing, but it's a +1 arrow.
The +1 arrow penetrated the
gazebo.
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 Now
Okay,
you
so
cannot
there's
sit
a
on that
gazebo that has a
arrow in it.
arrow in it. But, it's supposed to do something, right? Okay, fine. The gazebo comes alive and eats you. You're dead. Get the hell out.
Really?
It's like, but it's a gazebo. You know what a gazebo is? No. Gazebo does nothing. It's just a little...
Gazebo is a freaking swing chair.
Exactly. it's just I guess Americans.
Oh, of course, yes.
That's the only explanation I can give you.
Okay, yeah, because like some of the stuff I listen online is that there was a spy adventure that I listened to, and basically their mission is that you're a bunch of spies. One is a mafia guy, and the other one is a scientist, and the other one is I would say an old man. Their main mission is to knock off this bank. But instead of doing that, they would go into the house or their safe house, and they would pretty much ask the GM a bunch of questions. First thing the GM conveyed to them is that there's no power to the house. All right, there's a refrigerator, but it's not working because there's no power to the house because it's just a safe house. So first thing, one of the guys' thing is, I need to go to the hardware store and buy a bunch of stuff. So he does, and for whatever reason, he decided to buy a refrigerator and a bunch of tools and stuff. So the GM at this point decided to really mess with the guy and says, okay, well, you have a refrigerator and a bunch of tools. How are you going to get it home? Well, what do you mean? It's like you're standing outside the warehouse, the store. You didn't get a car. And you have a refrigerator and a bunch of tools. And so the next half hour is for them trying to figure out how to get the stuff home instead of doing something normal like get a car, get stuff to make your fake IDs, and so on. And it's pretty much bad role-playing because the guy isn't smart enough to figure out what to do or remember half the stuff that's in movies, right? So, so how... There's me going, again. So, Chad, anything else you did this weekend? Or this week?
Oh, off top, no, nothing. That's pretty much it. Been mostly working, mostly hanging out, watching Netflix and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about the 4th of July incidents in the States?
There's a bunch. There was a football player who decided to actually light up fireworks. And he just recently got his finger amputated. Smart.
Well, he's hurt, but as the official story is, he still has all his limbs. He's just badly burned.
No, apparently he got one of his index finger amputated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently it's from a very reliable source because he happened to obtain the medical documentation from the hospital, took a picture of it, and put it up on Twitter. Okay. This apparently in the football world, if he's reporting, his word is Bible.
Interesting. And the other guy who lives, I forgot where it is, but it's near Canada, in the States, decided to put a reloadable mortar on the top of his head and lit it.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, tragic story. Unfortunately, it's kind of, he didn't make it, obviously.
Yeah. I do apologize for using this term to our American listeners, but Americans.
Well, at least he's not from Florida. Naked in Florida. Do a Google search.
Anyways, what else? What have you done on this week?
Well, at this point, what I've been doing so far is keeping up with what's going on with the PC world. Like, you work in a computer store.
Yep.
And one of the things I've trying to understand half the time is why PC gaming is just being put on the back burner compared to, like, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Like, Batman, it's basically Steam took that off of their market, as well as Rocksteady not selling it until they fixed the damn game. Because the thing is, people in the PC, they spend thousands of dollars on their machine, including me. And I expect this game to run better than the PS4 and the Xbox, because let's face it, it should. But for whatever reason, there's always come across like Batman being unplayable. And
yep.
and was it textures not coming in Battlefield 4, and so on. But it's supposed to be the better machine, hence is why it's called the Master Race. What's your take on it, considering you spec machines for a living?
Well, when you think about it, when you're not really willing to spend $1,000 on a PC, much less $1,500, is what you would be ideally looking at for something that would run Batman quite easily, right? And you want to spend $400. And by the way, I do get phone calls for those. Can you build a gaming PC for $400? No. Buy yourself a PlayStation or an Xbox, because that will do it. In fact, $400 won't even get you an Xbox nowadays, or a PS4.
PS4, no. Xbox, yes.
Depends on which version.
$349 just for the basic core system.
Yeah, if you're looking at the core system, yes. Yeah. I can certainly understand that. But again, depending on specs and stuff like that, you get yourself a more decent one. But I digress. But yeah, when you really think about it, when it's easier to spend $400 or more, $400 to about $600 on a console versus $1,100 to about a $1,500 PC, yeah, that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, but a lot of people, what they don't understand as well, other than playing games on PC, you can pretty much, as long as you have internet, unplug yourself from the cable bill.
Yeah.
Especially with net. Was it? Actually, we only get Netflix up here.
Yeah.
Like we don't get Amazon or so forth.
We don't get any of those. Apparently, Hulu we can sort of get, but we don't get a subscription-based Hulu or anything like that. Google will allow for quote-unquote renting movies on YouTube, as long as you're able to pay for it. That's pretty much it off the top of my head.
Yeah, unless you go into the gray area of how to acquire movies, which we're not going to go into. But anyways, back to, what do you think the gaming industry or the gaming industry is just basically ignoring the PC market?
Long and the short of it is that you still have a group that's willing to actually pay for the hardware, but gets shafted when it comes down to the software. Long and the short of it. But they do focus. They will focus on it because it is still a market. It's just not as big as consoles when you think about it. And that's the thing. It's like everybody thinks the console is the next, is the greatest thing since sliced bread because it's accessible, and and the fact that it is all you have to do is buy the console and then pay for the games.
Yeah.
Whereas the PC is if you just have to buy the hardware and pay for the games, and well, I have to keep upgrading.
Yeah.
So I have to spend more on it. And I understand some people don't like that, and then there's some people who just are willing to spend it. And obviously we deal with the customers that obviously will spend the money to get the best they can get out of a game.
Yeah, and of course the one of the downside is when you buy a console, you can trade or let your friend borrow your game. Whereas the PC, once you buy the game, it's yours.
Yep.
The key is yours. You can't pass along and so on.
Yep.
But then again, you can't exactly play World of Warcraft on a console. But for whatever reason, especially with Rocksteady and Ubisoft, they try to make the PC version par with the console, which is reason why I think Ubi is falling on their face regarding the Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But that's something we'll get into later on. When I do more research on it.
If I ever care about it.
Well,
to be quite honest, I don't really play those games, and I to be quite honest, I wouldn't really put effort into researching it if I wasn't interested in it personally. But it's stuff like the fact that you have AAA developers that are always rushing to actually get the product out, but they don't take the time to actually properly do the quality check on it.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, releasing broken games.
Yeah, it's like before they would announce a release, they would say, okay, we have a deadline to complete the game, and we have a deadline to actually beta and alpha and beta test the game to be sure that the bugs aren't going to be in the way of the release, right? And if they are in the release, they'll say, "Oh, sorry, we have to push back our deadline or our release date here because this game's not finished."
Which I'm always really surprised with, because Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC took forever to release.
Yep.
They announced it and then they pushed it back, and they pushed it back. My personal theory is they're trying to obviously protect themselves from being pirated.
Yep.
Unless they are grossly incompetent in their game being completely broken. Let's face it, it's like they build all of it on PCs. Why can't it run on a PC?
Yep. Well, keep in mind though, this is before we had internet, right? Where we had games that were released. Hey, they work great, awesome. Oh, okay. And actually, no. I take it back. This is before we even had broadband. Okay, because even if they released the game and it was slightly buggy, the patch was available and it was downloadable on 56K. Right. Then all you would have to do is download the patch and then update it, and boom, it worked properly. Nowadays, because we have broadband, there's something wrong with the game. Okay, let's fix. Let's create the patch for it as soon as we can. Put out the major update for the next scheduled maintenance. Then we'll do it then.
Yeah, was it Halo Collection? First day patch was 5.9 gigs.
Yeah. And let's face it, I understand you trying to get the game out. I understand almost everybody has broadband, but at least make it somewhat where you don't have to say, "Well, this game is 100% unplayable because you guys screwed up somewhere." Make it at least 50 to at least 75%. Where I don't need to actually download a bloody patch for it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I refuse to actually play games like those, because if I'm going to be buying a game like those, why do I even bother with playing them if I have to download patches for them all the time?
Yeah.
Like for World of Warcraft, I can understand that because they're always fine-tuning the engine. They're always adding new content to it. But when you don't have anything to add content to it, all you're doing is trying to fix it through these patches. Why do we even bother? It's like buying Windows and keeping up with updates. Oh, wait a minute, we do that. Unfortunately, that's the biggest culprit right there, is that we live in a society where as far as software is concerned and everything else, we'll download the newest patch for it to fix it. And it becomes acceptable. I really hate that.
Yeah. I'm getting to that point because Fallout 4 is coming out, which I really, really want this game. But I can't buy the collector's edition because they're already all sold out the moment it was announced. And of course, this is Bethesda. I know it's going to be buggy off the bat.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in November. But I don't think I can get a chance to get the collector's edition unless if you guys get it, let me know. I want one.
It's unlikely. I don't think we've actually carried any new AAA titles in a while. When they first got released, not everybody really goes out and buys a physical disc for it anymore. It's like you can actually go out and, for example, if you want to download an EA title, all you have to do is get an Origin account and download it through that.
Yeah.
Or if it's released through Steam, well, just buy it on Steam.
And just download it.
Exactly. So having a shiny round disc copy is kind of nobody really does that anymore.
So it is. So have you noticed that less and less people actually go and buy a physical copy anymore?
Unless you're buying it for a console.
Yeah.
that's the only reason why you would do it anymore, or you actually care to actually have a physical copy.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when World of Warcraft released their expansions, obviously they're going to give you a couple shiny round discs for it, but they also carried other things with it with their special editions. And I'm fine with that, right? Because I'm not buying it for those shiny round discs. I know my patches are, I've already downloaded the latest patch for it because, with how Blizzard operates is that you've already downloaded the newest expansion and the most recent patch update. You just need the product key for it, right? Which is all you're really buying nowadays is just the product key. But they throw in the discs anyways because in the event something weird happens, you have to be offline to do all this. They'll give you the shiny round disc so you can install it when you're offline.
Now, at the end of the day, what is your opinion on whether or not we should have a physical copy? Because I want a fucking physical copy.
I am just like you in terms of how some games are. I'm a little old school. I would love to actually have a physical copy of it.
Yeah.
However, given how things kind of turn to shit, or how you end up losing things, or you end up accidentally having your disc broken, I don't mind a digital download of an older game.
Yeah, because some stuff, obviously, you can't play anymore. The newer stuff, there's always the digital copy. It's just I'm always under the impression that the CD or DVD will install a lot faster than downloading it.
Yeah, well, okay. When you think about it this way, you probably would prefer having the disc because all you have to do is go, okay, pop the disc in, hit okay, walk away, come back to it whenever you can. Oh, it's done. Pop in the next disc, whatever. Hit okay, walk away again. That install is fine. In some cases, downloading it could be slower, depending on if your ISP is throttling throttling down your speeds on purpose, or the source where you're downloading it from can't really keep up with it, right?
I guess to a point where the moment we get fiber optic, the physical copy is meaningless because it'll be just faster just downloading it.
Well, I really hope we actually get a provider up here in Canada that will actually challenge the triopolies in Canada and kick their asses and say, "Wake up, we're coming," and there's nothing you can do about it other than try to keep up.
That's much more to add. I'm due for an upgrade soon because Mr. Oculus Rift is knocking on my door, and I want to let him in.
I'm kind of on the fence about Oculus Rift because as much as that would be interesting, there is some things that I'm still waiting for, I guess the accompanying glove for tactileness to actually working with the Oculus Rift to actually say, if I'm playing this, I need to grab this, I need to grab that, I need to do certain things, not just, sit and watch.
Yeah. Well, for what I played for it, I wouldn't mind having an actual 3D system that worked because my 3D TV, it's good, but it's not amazing for playing games.
No.
But yeah, then of course I want to see if I can play Skyrim in full 3D. But yeah, that requires a 9 series card, which I'll have to pick up too. 9 series. Which one do you think is the best value right now? 970?
For dollars to dollars, the 970 is probably the more common one to purchase. The 980 Ti just came out, which is like a hair behind the Titan X.
How much is that going for?
Which one?
The EVGA one.
980 Ti, I think last I checked, it was about the $850 to about $900 markish, Canadian. The Titan was about $1,300.
That thing never goes down.
No.
How's the MSI one?
I'd go with the Asus over MSI, really.
Really?
Yeah. And this is a guy who used to be an MSI fanboy for video cards.
What happened?
I've had some issues with some of the fans on my last MSI card.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking of going with MSI because their RMA is local.
Yeah. That's a nice thing about MSI, but yeah, the coolers, when they work, they're fantastic. It's just.
So you would recommend going with Asus?
Yeah.
EVGA is still free warranty?
Yeah, they dropped the whole lifetime warranty on the reference stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, disappointing, really.
Well, yeah, considering that I have a GTX 295 that's still on warranty.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably get at 560, 570.
For step up? Yeah.
Probably.
If they do give you the option for replacement to that. Yeah.
The last one, I had two of them, and they gave me a 480, which is now non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll just have to.
Yeah, anytime.
Alright. Okay, on that note, we will end the podcast. Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a good one.
Yep.
Take care. Bye.